Cuckoo.
We're Isabel and Kim, girlfriends living in France and chatting about everything going on in our lives. Come hang out with us while we cheers with an Aperol Spritz, swap stories, get into some deep talks, and share what we've learned along the way. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, cuckoo.pod, and subscribe and leave us a review if you like our podcast.
Yay. Well, episode 2, back to school, first day.
First day back to
Yay.
school.
We have champagne for
Oh my gosh.
cheers celebration.
Cheers, Kim. We did it.
It was actually a busy summer, but
A long, never-ending summer.
I think for you, for me, I felt like it was actually the right amount of time. Like I got a little sad this morning, and then about 30 minutes later, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so quiet.
Yeah.
The house to myself.
Honestly, Kim, I'm not going to lie. Usually I am, even after the vacations, I am sad. I woke
were not
up
sad.
so I danced out of bed. My daughter was so happy too. We listened to our like 70s disco playlist
so
downstairs. We
fun.
were ready to get
You were
back.
ready for school.
Ready.
Awesome. Well, I wanted to ask you about your new house because
The new house is great.
I also heard you had air conditioning.
We have air
and
conditioning.
It's really big.
Look, the house is bigger than our other house. I
Yeah.
feel like it's the right size because me and my husband both work at home.
Yeah.
And I think this is the first time we've ever lived in a space that has enough space for us because we each have our own office.
So nice.
Which is just like game. I mean, granted, my office has one chair in it.
It's a cool chair
So
though.
far, I love the chair. But I just to know that I have a room I can go into and
Yes.
close the door. And there's no, in my Paris apartment and in our old house, we had verrière, which is like, instead of a full wall, it's like a glass wall.
Oh.
So you can
So you can
see.
hear and
you
see?
can see and hear,
Yeah.
and it's just no privacy.
No.
And it's to live full time and to work.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I need to just be out of sight. you
Yeah,
know?
that's
And I'm
great.
just so excited. And
Yay.
we finally got all the boxes done. The
Oh,
only thing
such a big accomplishment.
left over is some toys, and I've just put it all in the guest bedroom and closed the door
Smart.
for now. And I'll
Out
deal
of
with
sight,
it.
out of mind.
I'll deal with it at some point, but not today.
No,
not
no,
this week.
not
Not,
th-
next week.
no.
Next week.
I was like, enjoy your time while your daughter's gone for now.
Yes. The one thing I did this week that was bad is I completely crashed my car backing into the garage.
Oh, I saw the picture.
Honestly,
Look, it's a new garage. It's really hard to back out of
okay.
places in France.
But here's the thing, Kim. Normally we have 2 cars in the garage. My husband wasn't home. So this was an open garage. There was nothing but space.
Okay.
But yeah, look, I'm
It
never
happens.
said that I'm a good driver.
Me either.
And
I'm actually a really bad driver.
honestly, I think I'm going to blame it on just being like overtired mom.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really
You had a lot going on.
I not only did I scratch down to like the metal of the car, but I also broke this like plastic screw thing. And anyways, it's okay.
Well,
moving on.
I also
Onwards
had an
and upward.
accident.
You did?
Well, no, I mean, not a car accident, but I broke my wedding ring and band this week, which was, it got caught. The washing machines here are really small. And I was taking the laundry out and I was like, I don't know. I was just like angrily doing it for some
Yeah, 'cause
reason.
we're tired
I
of
was just
doing
like,
housework.
and it gets so small that I'm like, I have to do more loads and more loads. So anyways, it got caught on the little inside and then the whole thing.
no.
So anyways, but it's okay. I'm gonna get it
but
fixed.
Also, you'll
Yes.
get it fixed. And then I feel like you should share your career news.
Oh, yeah.
Because I feel
so-
like our listeners are very interested in like how to work abroad or how to make
Yeah.
things work. And Kim recently started
Yeah,
working
so
again.
so we moved here a year ago in August, and I just needed some time to I felt like trying to work as much as I was working in the US, and I started my own marketing consulting company, so I can kind of choose like when I want to work with, what clients I want to work with, and so I was doing that a lot in the US, and at one time I'd usually have like 3, maybe 4 clients. And then I moved here and I was like, I just need like a little bit of a break. So I took like about 6 months and I just got like our life settled basically, like trying to learn French and, kids stuff and house and et cetera. And then I started kind of lightly getting back into work after that. But now I'm like really picking up after Labor Day, and I have a couple clients. I'm excited about them, but they're on the West Coast in California. So
Yeah.
the hours it'll be a
Bedtime
little
dinner,
bit. Bedtime
yeah.
dinner is when I will have to kind of start working. But I was thinking the nice part is my days are very quiet and kind of to myself. So I think I'm going to try to
awesome.
like appreciate the good and,
Yes.
you know, get through sort of the challenging parts. But yes, thank you
exciting.
for celebrating. So
Okay, so since today is back to school in the U.S., it's Labor Day today, so
Yes.
you guys are on vacation.
this
but
is also a way we thought we should have a glass of champagne.
totally. So we thought we could discuss kind of like French school,
Yeah.
back to school, because I feel like there's so many things that are different, and thought it could be a fun thing to discuss.
for
So
sure.
let's jump in with the timing of school.
Yes.
So all the kids in France today start, I think it's always this week, the first week of September.
Yep.
They go back full on. Everyone's on the same schedule for the first half of the year. So the vacations, because in France they have this, you basically you have vacation every 6 weeks.
So and then you
Usually,
get like
sometimes
2
it's
weeks
a little
off.
bit more.
Yeah.
And so for the first semester, like up until Christmas, those 2 weeks are the same. Like the 2 weeks in October and the 2 weeks at Christmas are the same for everyone.
Yeah.
And then the second half of the year, I don't really know why they do it, but maybe so that not everyone's moving at the same time, but they split it. And so there's like in February, there's 6 weeks of vacation. Based on where you live, there's different zones. And so it's
Right.
like 2 weeks, the Paris zone, 2 weeks, the Aix-en-Provence zone, 2 weeks.
So interesting.
Another area of France.
Yeah.
And then they do the same for the spring. And then everyone gets out at the same time, usually like around like the first week or so
Of July, right? Yeah.
And to me, this was just like so different than what I grew up with because, you know, you go back to school in the U.S. and then you have like
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, right?
It was the
Like,
first holiday. You
is the
might
first-
get like a fall break, which might be like a day off here or
Yeah.
there, but
Yeah, I remember having a fall
Yeah.
break when I was at boarding school. And
Yeah.
I think in college we had that too. But then you have like the week at Christmas and then you either have like the March break or you have the February, April breaks.
I mean, same with my kids when they were in California.
Yeah.
Like they actually wouldn't go back a full week. They would usually start on like a Wednesday to sort of ease the kids in.
Okay.
Prior to Labor Day and then sort of go back, you know, after
Like,
Labor Day, like full on.
Okay.
But yeah, the amount of vacation in France for the kids is much higher during the school year
Yes.
than the US. But I do think the summer is a little bit shorter here.
I've always thinking about this. I feel
I
like
don't know.
maybe it works out because
Maybe
like
it works
around the same because I feel like in the US you get out in June, right?
Right,
Beginning
like
of
mid-June.
So then you have three
That's true.
3 months of summer, but it sort of depends because, you know, like I had cousins that grew up in Nashville and they go back to school like beginning of
Oh, I know.
August.
Same
almost.
with my friends in Nashville.
So it sort of depends where you live in the US. But the other thing about France is the days are much longer
Yeah.
compared to the US school system.
Even for young kids.
For young kids too. Like I remember when I think kindergarten has changed a little bit now, but when
Yeah.
I went to kindergarten,
It was like a half a day.
Half a day. It
Yeah.
was 9 to 12. And
Yeah.
that was like really the first time I had ever gone to school.
For sure.
And our daughters are in the same grade. And so they're like starting the equivalent of kindergarten. And if you're in France, this would be their third year of full-time school.
Yeah.
From 8:30 to 4:30.
Yeah.
Monday to Friday, but Wednesday is either no school or a half day.
Right.
So I don't know when you add it all up,
Maybe
if it
it's-
works out to be around the same.
Yeah, but a lot of schools in the U.S. get done early dismissal on Wednesdays too.
Oh, they
It's-
do?
Yeah, they do. But it's
Oh,
just not
okay.
like as early.
Okay,
Noon
gotcha.
is like, or no school is like very different.
Yeah.
But I do think it breaks up the week a little bit for the kids.
I
I don't think
actually,
it's great for us, but
yeah, you know, I agree, but I do think it's good for I
Yeah.
think it's great for the kids. And honestly, I kind of treat Wednesday as a wash day. Like
yeah,
I don't,
same. You
like
can't
I'll do
plan, like, a
laundry or
ton of
housework,
work.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. And then it is kind of nice to like have the afternoon together.
Yeah, it is actually.
My mistake the first year of school was not signing my daughter up for lunch because then she finished at 11:30
And
and it was
she's
just
starving.
like,
Yeah.
it was just too little of a day.
Yeah.
And so then last year, halfway through the year, and this year we've signed her up for lunch. So then they stay a little bit longer. It just makes the day
It's super
little-
helpful. Yeah, we're
a
doing the
little
same this year.
easier.
We didn't do it last year.
Yeah,
but this
it's
year for sure.
definitely worth it in my opinion. And then I think like well, you tell me. But
Yeah.
I think it's pretty different. I would say that most families in France take almost the whole month of August
it's
off.
super different.
Whereas like I don't know, in the US, like my dad always worked all summer.
Of
Maybe he
course.
would take
well,
a week.
and I always worked all summer. My husband and I always worked
Yeah.
all summer. It was so like coming here and like talking to like a lot of the French families when we came back. They were like, well, you know, it was August, so we were here, and here, or you know, we didn't work or what. I was like, wow, it's just so different to not
So different.
and it's so cultural. Like it's not like they say it like oh, it's so lucky to have August off. It's like, oh yeah, it was August.
It's
So,
August.
yeah,
Of course,
of course you're not going to work.
You know, I don't know if you've seen it, but have you seen the meme on like Instagram of like, it's like POV trying to get in touch with your European or following up with your European colleagues, and it has like some guy like dancing on tables with champagne. Like it's so funny, and it's literally
so true.
Like, so true because nobody really works. I think some people will go like the third week of July to the third week of August, and then you're kind of back like that week before school starts to get settled. But yeah, things really slow down.
And a lot of the like stores are closed, restaurants are closed. Like it's
because everyone takes like, even if you're like a store owner or you're the, you know, everyone really takes that break. I think that's so nice.
It's so nice, but it's so funny like here walking around seeing all the handwritten signs of just like en vacances, like, and then it's like the longest amount of time. And like maybe people would go on vacation like a week and shut down a store, but here it's like they literally have it's like August
minimum 3
1st
weeks.
through September or something. I'm like, this is crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that's like such a nice part of the. I know a lot in Paris, at least. I know a lot of the kids when they got out of school in July, they would spend like a couple weeks with their grandparents because the parents were still working a couple more weeks, and then like everyone got to spend time together.
It is really special, like family time, especially in the summer when the kids aren't in school. Like I do think it's like really amazing here that families have that time together and it's respected.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Okay. So the week before school starts, you are going to be getting your list of back to school supplies.
And it is intense.
It is really intense.
I was so stressed out last year when I first got this because it was all in French. I had no idea what like a cahier was.
It's true because you didn't know
because I didn't know any French. And it's a notebook, but it's not really a notebook. It's like a folder with all these inserts. And then it has to be
something like an open door folder.
Yes, it's like crazy. And there's like specific number of pages that have to be in it and colors.
But what's even more overwhelming than the list is because I had the list last year and like I didn't know what the things were, but I was like, okay, this is a notebook, this is something like that.
At least you knew the words.
But then you get to the store and when you see all the different variations of the notebooks, because it's written very specific, it will be like I forget what that one's called, but it's like this kind of like folder with plastic things you can put stuff in to see, but it comes in so many
of these.
Yes, that's a good idea. It comes with actually I did a TikTok
video. Oh, you did
video
a TikTok video on it. I saw that. Yeah. Okay.
So go check it out.
Okay.
It's like French back to school, something like that.
Oh, I did see it. It was good.
And there's so many different variations and different colors and different page numbers. So you really have to be like lining everything up, making sure everything's right. The thing that threw me off this time was like the weight of the glue stick.
Oh yeah.
They
it
wanted
had to be the
40
super format.
40 gram. And I mean, there was every size except 40 gram where I went. And I was like, this is crazy. And then I finally found like a few like hidden underneath because everybody has the same stuff. So all the stuff gets sold out. So that is
can I add 2 things?
Yes.
Okay. I am shocked we are supplying the full classroom's amount of Kleenex boxes.
Well,
Ziploc bags. Like
but you know what? People said that in the US that's
they're
like
providing Kleenex and Ziploc
they
bags?
said the U.S. because I asked people like, what are you guys buying? And they said like they have to buy Clorox wipes.
So we bought all this stuff
tissue.
too. I thought it was just here.
Tissues.
Okay.
I think even like paper. Like some people said paper towel. I don't know. Like all kind of like the
so
classroom
I just
stuff.
thought that I was like, why am I labeling Kleenex boxes?
Oh, we were supposed to label.
I don't know. I just labeled everything.
See, I thought that everything got like put into one big
Maybe
pile
it
and
does.
shared. But
Who
when I
knows?
said that to my husband, he was like, no, like everyone keeps their own stuff. But I'm like, how would they ever?
Well, the kayaks and the
maybe those.
the little pencil
I don't know.
cases.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, I hope so because we got a cute pencil case.
Oh, we did too.
So did you?
Yeah.
This is another thing that I think is like so interesting. Well, maybe it's the same now in the U.S. Maybe this is just like a times of change thing. But have you noticed that the kids here have like rectangle backpacks?
Oh, I think this is a European thing.
Okay, but do they have that in the
No,
US?
I've never seen it until we moved here last year. Maybe they have them now, but so just describe it.
Okay, so it's like
not like
picture a
regular
small
shape.
child, and like normally it's like kind of like a square shape, like a backpack that you. If you
Like
see
a
the
normal
child from the
backpack
front, you
from-
don't see the
right.
backpack from behind.
Right.
Like they just have a normal, regular backpack on. Here, the backpacks are rectangles, so like they stick out on either side of the child.
It's like a reminder of like your father's briefcase.
Yes,
with
as a
straps.
backpack. That's exactly what it is, and it's. I mean, I just never, when I first moved here, I was babysitting and the kid, I went to pick him up at his school and all the kids had these
I know.
backpacks. And I was like, where am I? And what is
But
this?
I was realizing for the older kids, it's actually very practical. So all of their stuff fits like a briefcase then. Like it's easier to put all their homework in. Like I kind of wanted to get my son one. And then I was like, oh, I'm not that European yet.
But you know what else? Now that I'm thinking about it, you know how so many of these, I feel like the notebooks here are longer.
Yes, this is what I'm saying. It like
so
fits
yeah, so it
easier.
probably fit like it's probably
know.
made
I
for the
kinda
size
think
of the
it's smart.
belongings. Okay, so
But
my
that's a
daughter
funny
doesn't have
one.
one of those.
No, neither does
those
that.
yet, but
Neither
maybe
my
next year for
kids.
first grade. And then one thing I think that's pretty similar is like, you know, there's tons of marketing that happens this time of year for like back to school, la
yeah.
rentrée,
Yeah.
like the back to school sales, back to school clothes, back to school
Same in the
shoes.
U.S. and it starts so early in the U.S.
I feel like it doesn't start as early here because
No.
everyone's on vacation.
You're right. They're not even thinking about it. Like in the U.S., like when I used to market back to school, we'd be like, we're late if it's July 1st.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
Yeah,
that's
it's crazy.
crazy. But here I would say it's pretty similar, but it just maybe starts a little bit later and doesn't last for as long. But I think really like the first 2 weeks of September, everyone's still.
When also like things just sell out. Like
Yeah, okay.
strange.
No,
Like,
but
it's really true though. Like you can't wait too long, or
Yeah.
you go to like the Montprix or the places everybody gets their school supplies, and you're like, where's the red Cahiers?
No,
with
it's all
60
gone.
pages? Like it's totally
It's
gone.
so true because we went too late last
Yeah.
year and there was literally nothing. I had to go to
Nothing.
several different
Oh, I
like,
know. Then
grocery
you're going
stores,
a million
like
places.
scavenging.
Yeah, scavenging for.
Scavenging. I don't even doc. Looking for these like red notebooks. So this year we went what I
you were
thought was
smart.
early and we were already late. So
Oh, see, I did the online program
Yeah,
this year.
I
I
need
was
to-
too stressed out last year, and I was in the store. I was like at 5 stores. It took me forever. I'm like, no way.
Yeah,
I am gonna
done.
like do this a smart, responsible
way.
now.
This is
So I
spoken
was
like a
proud of
smart
myself.
woman. Okay. So should we talk about school drop off?
Yes,
Because I feel like this is pretty different too.
So when I used to drop my kids off in school in California, I rarely would I would just throw on whatever like workout outfit I sort of had out for that day, like some Lululemon pants and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't really put much makeup on, maybe like a little if I was going to see the teachers or some moms, but very minimal. Here, it is like almost like you're going out to dinner dressed up.
I agree with
Like
you.
my husband this morning was in like a white linen shirt and like pants, and it like was the same outfit he would wear if we were going to like a really nice dinner out. And I'm like, you're just dropping the kids off on their first day, right? Like, and he was like, yeah, I just wanted to, pull myself together.
Gussy up a
even the
little.
guys, which I was like,
I have like thought a lot about this. And at first
What
I
is
was
your
like,
thought?
okay, it's just because people are dropping their kids off and going right to work. Because
yes,
I think
thought that too, but that's
like,
not it.
I kind of agree. Like, and then I came to this because it's true that people go to work much later in
Yes.
France. So like, I remember my husband, they had to be in like his office at 9:30, I think,
Okay.
in Paris, which is for the US.
Yeah, that's late.
That's
for the
late,
US.
right?
Yeah,
Like when I worked, I think I don't know, I got
it was
in
like
at like
8:30.
yeah,
maybe
like
earlier.
sometimes
Yeah.
earlier. And so I would say that most like it's usually always parents dropping
Yeah.
kids off at school because they just drop them off and then they go to work. So I'm
Right.
like, okay, everyone's really dressed up because
for work.
they're going to work.
Right.
But then when I realized that like even when French people go to a gym class, they don't like show up in their gym clothes.
No.
Often they'll change
Right.
there. I'm like, okay, so maybe it's more of just like this culture of not really wearing loungewear or like dress down.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not casual.
It's
in
not
France.
casual. Like I actually was watching because I've been still trying to learn French. You can spot a tourist in Paris immediately if they're wearing shorts. Like shorts are also just something I've completely abandoned in France. Like I would never wear
So
shorts.
true.
Outside. Like that would be so like now I would be embarrassed if I wore shorts like walking around the street. Like that just wouldn't cross my mind to wear shorts anymore.
Well,
And I've never seen a mom in shorts at school, like a French mom.
Yeah, I've never seen a mom in shorts.
No. So I just think
I love shorts, but I'm not wearing shorts right now because I have so much cellulite on my
Well,
legs.
I'm only wearing shorts like around the house.
Yeah.
But
You
so I
know,
just
it's a
mean
good
like in
point.
general, it's like
they'll wear
it's
short
like
dresses,
short
but
dresses,
not shorts. Yeah.
skirts,
No flip-flops.
No, definitely. Oh, and that was the other thing. They're like your shower shoes should be reserved for the shower. Like,
my gosh.
no flip flops. No like I don't know. It's just like they're like
I wonder what's
fancier
going to happen though,
sandals.
because I feel like flip flops are like really in right now. Have you noticed?
I know. Well, they are, but not the like Javianas that people would wear at like to the beach.
Like
here.
that I'm wearing right now.
I have the same shoes actually in gold. Okay.
But that was like a big difference for me because especially I guess in Paris when my daughter started going to school, like I wasn't going to work. So to like get up and
get ready,
makeup on, I was like, this is so weird. So I never did it.
Okay.
And at the beginning of the year, I like was kind of like putting on an outfit, but then I was kind of like, you know what? Like
screw it.
And now I think I go either like, it depends. Like today I think I don't remember what I wore, but I just had like regular outfit on.
Okay.
But it depends. Sometimes for the morning, like if I'm gonna work out right afterwards,
I know
like
that's how I feel
just wear
too.
my
And I'm like,
extra
I know I'm working out
clothes
right
and-
after, but I think I kind of now like pulling myself together in the morning.
I feel like
it
you're always
wakes me up.
so put together in the
But
morning.
I think I was also in a habit of like when I would go to work, I would always like it's just the first thing you do, like get ready in the morning.
Yeah. No, it's
So
a
I
good
was
habit
sorta
because
like,
then
it
you
was a
come
good
home and
habit.
you're like ready
you're
to
like
go.
done for the day, and I
Yeah.
actually feel better. Like I feel more awake. I feel like I'm pulled together. So I do try.
Yeah, Kim always has like very cute outfits on.
I don't know.
Okay. So should we talk about kind of like the orientation and
Yeah,
like drop
because that
off
was
and like how it goes?
very different for me, at least moving here. Like well, I guess two things on that. So in the U.S., like it's like the parents, especially if your child is starting like kindergarten, where they're going to be at probably the same school for a long time. The parents want to like get to know each other beforehand, and they'll like organize, like they'll even team you up with like buddies that are
That's
older.
so nice.
So you get like acquainted to the school, and and people want to get together for play dates if like you find out your son and or your whomever are in the same grade, or and you guys live closer, etc. And so I just found it here, like first of all, there's no even sharing of any parent emails or anything. Like I wouldn't have known anyone until you show up the first day, and even then you're just on like a WhatsApp group together, and you don't know whose child is whose parent.
And it's just like the picture, like the WhatsApp group. Like
could be,
sometimes
like,
some people have a
sometimes
picture
they're
and
like
be like,
an
oh, who is
emoji.
that?
Like,
Like
who's
you don't
that?
know who the contact is.
Right. So that's really different because I don't. And,
And nobody uses that group.
No. Well, I use it, but
Like,
no one's
you
like
send
using
messages
it
to the class.
No, I just read it. I actually don't.
I feel like the
post
only
anything.
time that people send messages in our class WhatsApp from last year was like if there was a birthday.
Oh, okay. Ours
They
are
would
like
send
homework
the
questions
invite.
for my son.
Oh, okay.
It's
I
like,
guess that
do they
makes
have
more
to do
sense.
all this for math?
Okay.
Et cetera.
And
But
do people speak what they just? It's always in French. So like, how,
oh yeah, that's the other thing. The WhatsApp
you
group's
just-
always
yeah.
in French.
So
So then I
what
Google
did you
Translate
Google
and then I write
Translate?
it
Okay.
in French if I have a
Okay.
question. But
Gotcha.
I pretty much just
I always
enjoy it.
get so embarrassed.
Well,
Like
because
whenever I
the Google
answer,
Translate isn't right.
well, I like do it myself, but then I'm like, I don't know. I get like embarrassed. Like you don't want to look like an idiot. And I know that like,
Oh, I definitely have looked like an idiot on there.
I know, me too. But now I'm like in the bad habit of asking my husband, like, does this make sense? And he's like, just send it. Like, who cares?
Well, you're lucky that you can do that.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
my husband would be like, I don't know. What does that say? Anyways, so coming back to the point, the orientation here is actually just the Friday before school starts, and no kids are allowed. Like, so you have to find a babysitter, and then you just go to school, and then you as parents learn who the kids' teachers are.
Yep.
And you learn about like what class they're in, what the curriculum is, etc. But the kids are not there, which I found I guess there's a back to school night now that I'm remembering it, but it was always at night. Like I was thinking about if you were working full time, like this was a full day off basically on a Friday. Like you could not, I mean, just arranging like the full auditorium, it was just like
It was
a lot
different
of things.
though. When I was in Paris, they had this night before the first school year was over.
Oh,
so
okay.
it was like I think they did it end of June, but it was the same, like no kids allowed, and it was just the director of the school. Well, I think she did one for each grade, so it was like for all the new families in petite section. But there was like no, I don't know. You would have thought it'd be like an opportunity to like some like get to know like who lives here because everyone lives in the same neighborhood, so it's like we're all neighbors. Our kids are all going to be in school together.
But there was nothing, and like
no one talked to each other. Everyone was like very much on their own island.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to remember when I want to say that we found out her teacher like when we arrived that first day of school.
Oh, wow. Well,
But maybe I'm wrong.
But I mean, this is pretty close to, they just found out Friday and they're back in school today. It's Monday.
Didn't we find out as kids like the year like who our
I thought
teacher
it
was
was
before we
earlier.
left for summer?
Yeah. I mean, my sister's a teacher and she knows her class way in advance of like
Yeah.
a few days before.
I don't know.
I just thought that was a little bit interesting that we didn't even go around as parents and say like, I have this kid in this
Yeah.
class and I'm from here or
Yeah.
But I mean, I just looked around. I'm like, I wonder whose child that is and
Yeah.
whose this is and where they're from. And it was just
It feels like as the parent you have to do if you want to kind of like figure out who your
gotta
kid's going
do
to
your
school
own
with.
work.
You have to like really make the effort to like
Yeah.
introduce yourself. It sounds silly when I say it. Like why wouldn't you introduce yourself to someone? But it's not like people aren't in like French people aren't introducing themselves to me
They're
like,
not
oh,
gonna
I'm the
come up
mom
to
of
you and
so
be
and so.
like,
So
no.
if you want to know, like you have to be the one
Right.
to proactively be like, oh, like you're so I think the girls play together sometimes.
and you better do it
or,
in French.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously.
But yeah, it's just this is like really like when people ask, what do I miss about the US? I miss this. Like
Yeah.
the easy like people are always open, especially when there's like your kids are in
Your
the same
kids are in
class.
the-
Like,
right. They
people
wanna
are
get to know
super
each other,
open
for sure.
To talk, even if like when we go to the US and we're on the playground, like
Yeah.
the parents always are like, oh,
Yeah.
is your daughter?
No,
like,
it's true. It's
you know,
true.
people are just like
Yeah.
open to talk, and
Yeah.
I feel like in France, like they don't, and then maybe that happens like as the year goes on, but like now we're like months and months in. Do you know what I mean?
It's true. I mean, even last year,
Like
I
by the
feel
end
like-
of the year, I feel like I knew I had like
oh yeah, by
like,
the end of the year, you do
different story, but like why don't we start a little earlier?
I agree. I mean, you and I didn't even meet till like end of last September.
Yes.
Remember?
Like, yeah, we really talked
At
after
this little
the
event
wine
they
and
had
cheese.
at school.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think it is late, like to kind of get to know your community.
Yeah.
But
But anyways, you know,
yes,
vive
that's
la
how it
France.
is.
Okay. So now we can go into the actual school day.
Yes.
I would say French school is very academic.
Very academic.
And I sort of knew this was coming because when me and my husband were together years ago before we ever had a child, I was always saying like, oh yeah, like school is so fun in the US because you know like I
It
feel
was
like
fun.
when
And
you're young,
yeah.
like school is like sort of for
Oh,
fun.
you're like doing a lot of art.
And my husband was
music
always
and-
like, school is like serious. Like he's like, what do you mean you have like good memories of school? He was like, like it's hard work. Like we're working all the time, memorizing like poems and
Yes.
sheets. And I was like, what?
I know.
Maybe I did have to memorize a poem in high school, but like not as like a young child. So I was like, okay, it seems like it's a little intense. And then you always like kind of hear the rumors of like French people are so anxious because school, like the teachers are so intense
Yeah.
and school's so intense. And so I had a feeling that it was
Not
going to
gonna
be a
like,
little different than what I
Okay.
was used
Yeah.
to. So that said, like, I know we've mentioned it here before, but children in France have to go to school the year they turn 3.
Yes.
So if your child is turning 3 in November, December, they're starting mandatory school at like a little over 2.5
For a long day, not like
for
a
an
couple days a
8:30
week.
to
Yeah.
4:30 day. No option to not
Right.
do it. You do have the option to go home at lunch. So
Oh, that's
if
true.
which isn't really practical for most
No.
people. Even like when I was working at home, I maybe brought her home for lunch once or twice, and it was honestly so hard
Yeah.
because by the time I got her home and gave
Yeah,
her
of
some food,
course.
then I had
Then
to like
it's
bring her
back
and drop her off
again.
again,
No.
and it just
Yeah.
felt too disruptive for both of us.
For sure. And you're saying
and
goodbye again,
disorienting.
and it's
Yeah, it was
sad.
just like-
yeah, no.
It wasn't good. But I think it's a really long day for young children. And the thing that I know people say, well, kids go to daycare and all
Yeah.
that, but there's a huge difference between
Yeah.
school and daycare
There is.
because like my daughter had such a great experience at daycare in France. They had, I want to say she had for each 3 kids, there was one childcare provider.
Oh, so it's a lot
So,
of
you know,
like
it's
hands-on.
like, even if you're there all day,
Yeah.
like you're really being nurtured and cared for.
great.
Sort of like if you're with a parent, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for
and
sure.
then, so like that was her, when she was 2, she did, I want to say she did like 3 full days a week.
Okay.
And that was it. But still like
Still,
from like
like,
9 to 5.
It's
like
hard
big
and a
long
lot.
days.
Yeah.
But she was in daycare. So it
Okay.
was like,
So there's play
she was all,
and
like,
there's
I don't know,
other-
she was so happy
Yeah.
with that situation. And then we switched to school, and it was it was like a absolute nightmare. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that they're sort of just expected to all of a sudden be so independent and
Yeah.
grown up, and they're still really little. They have to be potty trained.
Yep. At a young age.
Her class she had, I think, 24 kids in the class, and there's one teacher and one assistant.
Oh,
Which is like
That's a
lot
lot.
for to have a class of two and 3 year olds.
three-year-olds?
So like unless your child is having a lot of trouble. Like
Yeah.
they're not getting any attention at all. Do you see what I
It's
mean?
really hard.
And I think like that was definitely our hardest year. I think it was also like exacerbated by the fact that she was the youngest in the class.
Oh, because of her birthday and
Just when you think back to the US where like some people like don't even really send their kids until 4 to like a morning program here and there.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot is asked of children from a young age in France. And
sure.
it's pretty intense.
Yeah.
And they're sitting at desks all day.
All
They're
day.
not like, they're not like doing free play Montessori type stuff like because they do a lot of the Montessori type stuff in daycare. And I like went into school thinking it was going to be so great. And I was really shocked that first year. And I was like, wow,
they're really expected to.
This is like tough. And I mean, it's not like they're in the 3-year-old section. They're not like reading and writing, but it's a lot for children to sit all day. And they do activities. They play outside. I'm making it sound like it's prison, but
it's not.
I just think it's drastically different.
I do too.
Tell me what it was like for your kids.
For my kids, like they also started school young, like 2.5, but it was a couple days a week, and then you kind of ease them in. And by the time they were in pre-K, so that would be like 4 or 5.
Okay,
they were in what would be they're considered full days, like 8:30 to 2:30, but still shorter. But they were not expected like to read, write. Like it was basically like learn through play, and a lot. And I think a lot of schools are different. Like I have done a lot of research on schools in California because we were trying to find the right school for my son when he was starting kindergarten, and they kind of range like in more academic or more sort of like STEM play based, like and anyways, it was a big shock for my son to come here and do first grade when he was expected to read and write in 2 languages, like, and they're on different curriculums. So like they follow a different curriculum for the French than they do for English. So like English is on like a British curriculum. I'm not sure. I think obviously French is on the French curriculum, but they have different sets of books. They have 2 different teachers, just kind of depends. So anyways, I think it's been a big shock of how academic school was. And I would say for different children, it's probably okay. I think sometimes my son is a little like he wants to be building things and exploring. And I think it's a little bit challenging, I think, here to allow like kids to have like freedom to sort of be creative and do what they want.
I agree. I think it's like probably the downside of French education is that it's very serious from a young age. And like we were even in our meeting and they said like the goal of kindergarten is for them to be reading and writing. Yeah. Because CP is like really what like maternelle is like all fun and games, but it gets very serious in first grade. And I'm thinking like very serious. Like
my son was doing last year. He's in second grade this year. Last year he was doing, I would say like 30 minutes plus a homework.
Well, they said that in CP it's 40 minutes of homework a night, and I'm like thinking back, I was like, I didn't have homework till I was in 6th grade.
Oh yeah, I don't even remember. I think it was at least 3rd or 4th.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm very team like. No homework.
I know, me too.
Like they spend the whole day at school. Why are they doing homework?
And if they're already in such an academic school, I think then putting them in homework and it's like the time is so little, and that's their time to like jump on a trampoline or run around or whatever, So I would say like I think the good things about the French school are kids learn discipline, like which I think is amazing.
I agree.
So much better than the United States. Like, and I don't mean that in like a super strict way. I just mean like they are well mannered. Like they all can sit nicely for the most part. Like I just think there's such a nice way that like French children and now our kids being in the system are just like well mannered and disciplined, and I think there's some really good things about that that I didn't see as much of in the United States, at least where we were in California. And then I think the other good thing is like it's pretty awesome to have like your son in first grade be reading and like doing pretty advanced math things, and like the amount of things that they learn is also kind of, I think, cool. But I'm like a nerd learner. Like I like to learn. So I don't know if my son would agree, but
I've thought a lot about this. And for me, I think that the French system has a lot of positive benefits for the parents almost. Like I feel like it's more beneficial for the parents than the kids in some situations.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because the parent then because it's true what you say about like sitting still, listening. Yeah. Like I would say my daughter has been really independent pretty much since that first year of school, because like she does her whole day by herself. They have to be quiet. If they misbehave, like they're scolded. and it does like create a child that is very like easy to go along with.
Yeah, it's true.
Parents' life, like they can sit through
They
a long
sit through
lunch
restaurants
and they can
at a long time.
They don't need iPads
Nope.
everywhere. They can take like when we go to the U.S. like she can like get on a long plane. It's not like a big like sitting like
That's
she's
true.
very, I guess you would say like outwardly looking in like very well behaved.
Yes.
But at the same time, I'm also like, like
you gotta let kids
like
be
childhood.
kids
You have
sometimes.
such a
Loyal
little
time. I know.
a
I'm
little
torn on
childhood,
this too.
and I'm
torn on
sort
this
of
too.
like I would love if she could go to a school like in the woods with chickens and mud and just be like exploring and playing and But I do notice
That's
a
what
big
my son
difference
was at.
between
he literally
That's so
like
cool.
he gardened and they had chickens.
I think that's
and,
like probably what's best for children. But I will say, like when we go back to the U.S., there does seem to be such a difference between how most children behave out in public versus how my daughter or other European kids. Because even it was weird when we were in New York. We saw there were so many French
I
French
bet
families
they were visiting and
probably visiting during the vacation.
Yeah.
And there were when you would see the French kids versus the U.S. kids, it just seemed like everyone was on an iPad screen. Like, and
really
I'm not
true.
judging. Like
No,
I've used the iPad screen
Yeah.
so many times. You do what you have to do, but it does seem like those kids aren't as used to operating in that type of environment because you can't really get away with anything in a French school.
No. Oh well, and even my son was like, "There's kids that go to the principal's office." Like I don't think he would have ever even known that in another school. But anyways,
definitely,
good and bad things probably with all schools across the world. But the last thing I was going to say about the schools, and this could be just specific to like the schools we were in California, but parents were really encouraged to be involved in the school. Like, I would like volunteer for lunch. I would like come in the classroom and like teach an activity.
That's so nice.
It was actually, I really liked it. Like, I think because I kind of could arrange my own schedule, I think it was really hard for two full-time working
I'm sure
parents that were in offices. Like, I mean, and I was there for part of that time, like I just toward the end when I was a little bit more flexible in my work, but it was like so nice to actually see what your child is doing during the day. And they would get so excited to see you come in and do an activity or serve lunch or like do recess duty,
cool.
And so I think the level of parental involvement in the US, I think is not only expected, but it's like appreciated in some ways. And here, like I remember asking like, so do parents come in the classroom or can I volunteer for anything? And they looked at me like, why would you want to do that? like,
but I feel
your
like
freedom,
you did.
Your children.
Didn't you go in once last year for Thanksgiving?
So I made a Thanksgiving. The sweet
That's
potato
very
casserole,
cute.
which the French thought was très bizarre.
Oh my gosh, I'm sure. Oh, that's probably like the weirdest thing you could.
They kept asking like, "Is it a dessert?" And I was like, "It's not dessert. No, this is actually
This
what
is a side
Americans
dish.
eat for a side dish in the U.S."
Oh my gosh,
and yes,
that's
it's
really
packed
funny.
with brown sugar, syrup, marshmallows. I'm
Oh
well
my
aware.
gosh, that's
Anyways.
really funny.
But yes, that was the only time I ever went into the class, and it was because the teacher was like, "This is an American holiday today. Like, do you want to come do something American?" So
that's really nice. So the one other thing that I really like about the French schools, and I feel like a lot of people started following me about this, is the food.
Yes.
And I think that this is such a cool part.
So much better
of the French school. They really have like they have like a full, like a big coursed meal for lunch. They have salad, they have a starter, they have a main dish, they have either like a cheese and a yogurt, and then sometimes they even have dessert too after that. It's a big meal. And you can't bring food for your child. You can't pack a lunch, which is great because you don't have to do lunch boxes in the morning.
Oh, it's so
the only
nice.
exception is if your child has a big
After
allergy.
school. Oh yeah, right.
You can bring your lunch. But I just think it's such a great system. And I think for me, I always felt like I had less pressure to make the other meals at home so good because I was like, I know she ate really balanced for lunch. So if dinner is just like pasta or like just something,
you wouldn't
I
feel
wasn't,
bad.
especially when she was more younger, like in daycare, I was like, I feel like she's being exposed to so many different foods through like the snack and the lunch and the everything.
It's so true. And there's a lot of variety.
Awesome. They would give fish, like
it's so true.
Like they would have all like lamb, fish, shrimp. They had mussels one day at her in Petite Section for like around Christmas. They had mussels. And I was like, I mean, I don't know if she ate them or not, but
still.
the great thing about this is like, when everyone is eating the same thing,
Yeah.
kids are so much more likely
It's so true.
to try what's on their plate
Yep.
because if they see their peers eating it, they're
Right.
going to eat it. Whereas if I served my daughter
Chicken
mussels
fingers
at
and
home,
fries every day. Oh, you mean the opposite? Yeah.
but like I feel like if I
She'd
gave her
be
that
like,
at
"What?"
home, like maybe she would probably try it now. But when she was much
Yeah.
younger like that, I don't know if she would have done it. But if she was like, she always ate really well.
That's amazing.
At the school. So I think that's such a good thing for like growing up in
Yeah.
food culture and having like a good like palate and relationship with
sure.
food and being used to like fresh whole food. So I think that's
And I
such
think
an
it
amazing
makes
part.
them, what I've noticed about my kids compared to the US is they're much more willing to try things now.
Yep.
Like foods, even at a restaurant that they would have normally not even like considered trying.
Totally.
And so I like that they're like opening their minds a little bit to like
Yep.
different types of food.
I've noticed this too. Like my
Yeah,
daughter
it
will
just-
try almost anything, and like I mean, a lot of times she's like, "Ugh, no, I
Right.
don't."
Oh, no,
like
they don't
that."
like it, but at least
But
they
then sometimes she
tried
does like it.
Totally.
And it's so cool. And she's like
Yeah.
always like open to at least trying.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Which is great. And it
Yes.
just takes pressure off parents too.
100%.
Okay. I feel like
The last thing is sports we were going to talk about.
we were going to talk about
Yes.
sports.
You want to start?
Yeah, I can talk about sports. So I think this way sports are done in France is so cool
Yeah.
and so inclusive.
Yeah.
Because I know in the US, activities and after school sports can be very expensive
And a lot like
and very time consuming. And so the way it works in France is usually like at the back to school, if you each village, like each town has kind of like a open door.
So like an outdoor fair, like they have
Yes,
tables
it's like an
set
out.
up. With
It's like an out. Like
each-
we went
yeah.
to the one last year in our
Okay.
town,
We're going on Saturday.
and
here.
they have like all the activities are there, like piano, tennis, like
That's awesome.
like any kind of activity for kids and for adults because
Oh, I didn't know
adults
about
sign
the
up for this too.
adults.
So all of the like activities are like show up, and you can like sign up for like a trial
Oh, I
class.
might
You
do
can
this.
see
Okay.
like times of stuff. Like I know in my town they had like hiking, like gym classes, like
Wow.
biking.
Oh, cool.
In Paris, my husband always did language classes
Oh,
after
smart.
work. And usually the price is around like $200 for the whole year.
So it's inexpensive.
So it's really
Yeah,
inexpensive.
that's
So like if
awesome.
you want to sign I feel some sports are more expensive. Like ballet is more expensive.
Yeah.
Horseback riding is more expensive. But I want to say last year we had originally signed my daughter up for tennis, but I think she just wasn't really into
Yeah.
it. And for the year at like the tennis club in our town, you don't need to be a member. Like anyone in the town
Yeah.
is welcome
Isn't
to
that
go. And I
great?
want to say it was like €200 for the
That's
whole year.
awesome.
And that was a class every single Saturday from September to end of June, not including the vacations.
Right. Amazing.
But it's just so cool because then
Yeah.
like every single child can do something.
Yeah.
And it's just like one day a week.
Right. And they're
Um,
trying it. And I think the other thing that I like in France that is very unique, I think, is this idea of multi-sport. So like,
Oh yeah. I've
that's
never
like,
done, I want to do one of these.
It's cool. Like my kids went to camp this summer in basically like a tennis club that we're not members of, but they can just go to the camp, and they introduced the kids to like different sports throughout the entire
so
day.
cool.
So like they did rugby, they did like even American football. Like
No
and then, Yeah,
way.
they had like threw the footballs in like these little bins, and obviously soccer, which they call football. But they were introduced to so many sports, and I think it's cool because I think sometimes in the U.S. we like zone in on like, okay,
Yeah.
they got to do little league and soccer and that, but
And
it's
then
like
it's just that.
and it's just that, and
Yeah.
then you go in club and like kids. But I think exposing kids at young ages to like all these different types of sports, like now my son's like, I really like this, but I don't like that, and I just think there's something really cool about like
For
letting them
sure.
try a lot of things all at once,
especially
so.
while they're young.
Yes, for sure.
And I think like there's definitely opportunities as you get older to like do more of one sport if you're like really into football.
For sure.
or
Yeah, you can go
whatever.
deep into
You can
like, yeah.
do more, but I just like the idea of when they're young, like there's so many options.
For
it feels like there's
sure.
something for everyone
Yes.
and it's open to everyone.
Yeah, it's
and I
not-
feel like the thing when I think about like if I don't know, the thing that bothers me the most about the US is that like things aren't open for everyone. Like
Yeah.
everyone doesn't have access to good,
Yeah.
healthy food. Everyone
Yeah.
doesn't have access to the same type of it's
Yeah.
just, I feel like there's so many more discrepancies
Yeah.
than there are here,
Yeah, for sure.
which is such a great thing.
Yeah, no, I think it overall, like, back to school, good thing for our kids. and
Great
us.
thing for us. Good thing for our
Yes,
kids too.
we're
No,
hoping for
I
a
feel like
great
I was a little
year.
serious about Friend School, but I'm
No,
so
I
grateful
think it
for
was honest,
too,
and I'm grateful too. And I think, like, I'm also grateful, like, to be an American living here and having our kids like have this
Yeah.
type of experience, I just think is like very unique, and
Yeah.
I think they're benefiting a lot in a lot of ways that
Totally.
I don't
I
even
think
realize
so,
or they
too.
don't even realize.
And I
sometimes,
also,
so.
I have a daughter who's like really likes school. Like
Yeah,
she's
that's
like more
awesome.
serious. I wonder what it would be like if I had a child who was way more,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like she's very like disciplined and she
That's
likes
good.
doing stuff. So
Yeah.
it works great for her. But
Yeah.
I'm sure it can be, I feel like it could be hard for some
Yeah.
kids. But
Yeah.
overall, it's all good stuff.
All good things.
And
Let us know what
it's
you
so
think,
fun.
and let us know the
Yeah.
similarities and differences, and share this episode
Yeah,
with
leave a comment.
anyone you guys
let us know
think would be
how's
interested.
How it's going.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Well, we'll see you for episode 3.
Bye.
Bye.